Hi everyone, and this is Chrissy from InTheStarsByChrissy.com, and in this video we're gonna be talking about September 2019 monthly astrology forecast, which is going to be giving us important insights to what is to come for the month, the energy that are in focus and playing in the celestial skies, and how it is going to be reflected upon in our lives in a personal and collective level as well. So, if you'd like to know more details and have a form of knowledge and awareness to what is to come, please do stay tuned with me and listen throughout the video. But before anything else, in case you haven't done so, please do hit that subscribe button if you want more videos like this, and make sure you hit the bell icon as well to get notified for future updates as well. That is going to be very much helpful um, for me. September 2019. This is a month wherein it's really going to be very much Virgo oriented. We have the new moon in Virgo happening on August 30, 2019. But more than the new moon, the key figure to all of this is really Mars in Virgo and the energy it is going to be bringing us throughout the month of September. It has a very important role to play, and it is really a given fact that it is Mars that went ahead first before any planetary alignments and any luminaries out there. It is the first planet that goes into Virgo, and it is the last one to leave as well. And that is really a very important factor to take into consideration, because it is basically telling us that it has a more lingering effect. So it's very important that we really get into the details to what is Mars in Virgo anyway. So, what does it mean and what it will bring us? For us to understand Mars in Virgo, we first need to have a clear idea what Mars is really all about. Mars represents our energy for action, determination, motivation, our urges, what moves us. It is represented by the masculine energy as well, and it is related to temper issues, anger at the same time. So, Mars is a very rash planet, a very rash sign. And the sign of Virgo is ruled by Mercury, known for being very critical, analytical, practical, and very detailed oriented. And when I say detailed, they are really detailed to the point wherein they tend to notice things that don't really have to be noticed, which sometimes causes problems. But sometimes these details are the small details that give some form of impact to a certain scenario, which is very important as well. So yeah, it deals with health and work and the ability to make a choice. And this is really a very important thing for me to tell you guys, because Virgo is like the only sign that um, has the ability to make a choice and the ability to be able to refuse things. So um, it's very different with the sign of Libra. Libra is all about seeing things like the pros and cons, being able to negotiate and all that. It's always connected with someone. It is like a mirror, that kind of thing. But with Virgo, Virgo is represented by the Virgin, by a high priestess, that kind of thing. That is why in the ancient times, Virgo is the only sign that is not overpowered by a man. In the past, men belong to a woman, so woman has to be submissive to a man. So again, I'm just telling you guys how it works in the past, in the ancient times, those kinds of things. So it's not as if I am disregarding the power of the woman in this time of an age. But I'm just telling you guys the important factor that we should take into consideration of how it was in the past and how the symbolism in the past is being reflected right now. So, yeah, women belong to men, and Virgo is like the high priestess or a nun, those kinds of things, and they're not really um they're not under a powerful influence of a man. So they have their own authority, that kind of thing, which is why it has always been known that Virgo, the virgin, that kind of thing. So they have this connection with purity, their connection to God and divinity and all that. So if a Virgo, if a person of divinity or someone close to God, like a high priestess, wants to have a form of sexual intercourse, that kind of scenario, they have to make their own choice whether they engage with a man. They are the person that chooses the man. It's not the man that chooses them, which might feel unfair in this time and age, but that is how it works in the past, in the ancient times. So, yeah. So, that is just a mini story to give you guys an idea. So, Virgo can refuse someone, and the guy doesn't have any say about it. So, and this is why Virgo has a lot to do with hard work. They need to put in the effort to make sure that everything is in place, everything is in order. Not everything falls in their lap. It is something that you need to work on to fix a certain scenario, to be able to make things work out. And when it comes to relationships, that is very much prominent as well. They need to work out things to for their ideals to happen. But at the same time, this Virgo energy is highly reliant on the person. So in case the person does not want to make it work, does not want to work things out and all that, they have that choice to refuse to make it work. So that is something that I'd like to express and mention, because I don't think a lot of astrologers mentions this, that we have a choice, and this is what the Mars in Virgo is. We have a choice to work on things, and we have a choice to refuse to work with someone or something. So, yeah. Unlike women of the past, where they are not made to work at all but to rely on men, they are more submissive. Virgo has this innate boundary with men. So they need to initiate first before things actually progress. So that this is just like what I've mentioned. And when Mars and Virgo comes in line together, we can expect results to occur. Thinking big is not really gonna cut it anymore. There is going to be a need for action to take place, and planning has to be done. An element of control and direction to where we are heading in life is going to be very much in focus and prominent during this time. And I think that it's very interesting to have Mars and Virgo together because Mars is represented by the men as well, and Virgo is usually represented by the female side of things, the feminine energy, that kind of connection. So when the men and women comes together, it's like, we can expect some form of progress in relationships. But again, let's put in consideration that there is also a possibility that a relationship may not work out anymore, but this is within the choice between the man and the woman. And with the energy in place, I feel that we can expect the decision making from the man side, but it could be vice versa, that kind of thing. It will be highly dependent on your own natal chart, of course, but we can expect results to be happening. So, for example, you are in concern of a relationship, we can expect some form of results in such a way wherein a relationship might broke down, or a relationship might be corrected, might get fixed, that kind of thing. So I hope I'm making sense on the energy of the Mars in Virgo. Of course, this is not really just all about relationships. It can also work in terms of all aspects of life. It's just that in this channel I do focus on love and relationships, so I would always give you guys the information how it will work on a relationship level, that kind of thing. So what else is going to be very prominent for the month of September? It is going to be the T square with Jupiter, Venus, and Neptune, which is going to be in highlight throughout the course of September. And it is going to be starting on August 30, wherein the new moon energy is going to be taking place. Now, I am telling you this, the information on the T square, because it will have like a domino effect. This is that point wherein it will have a very strong domino effect, even at the end of September. And this is because this month actually is wherein we have a lot of asteroids playing a role throughout the month of September. We have Juno very much in exact conjunction with Mercury in Virgo. We have Neptune in conjunction with Lilith. Not exact, but very, very close. And I believe that during the full moon, which will happen at mid-month of September, Lilith is going to be playing a very, very big role into things. So please do listen as I go over what the story of what Lilith is all about and how this is going to be playing an important role for the month of September. And we also have Jupiter, which is now direct in the sign of Sagittarius and is very close to Ceres. So with all of this in mind, Lilith, Ceres, and Juno are all asteroids that are connected to sexuality, to relationships, and true love. So aside the fact that I have mentioned about the man and the woman in Virgo energy, this is going to be jam-packed with issues about relationships coming up and relationships that are going to be fixed and worked on. So that is something that we need to keep in mind. So trying to make things work is definitely the theme of September. This Virgo with Venus, opposition to Neptune in Pisces retrograde with asteroid Lilith is going to be shaking things up, especially in terms of our connections to relationship with people, whether it is in romance or, personal relationships. It could be family, it could be acquaintances or social networks, or even in your career life. It is going to be shaking things up. Lilith is like the rebel that likes to oppose tradition. It likes to rebel on what is the right thing to do. So, being opposed by Venus, this will be making us see clearly on what is wrong in a situation, in a relationship, because Neptune is retrograde. And it has been so since June, I believe. And we may come to see some form of truth in a maybe painful and hard way. But this is going to be forcing us to correct things, to work things out on what needs to be corrected. When there is a T-square, we need to give consideration to what is the apex, because usually when there is a T-square, it is the apex of that T-square wherein we should be focusing on for us to resolve the conflict, for us to resolve the stressful alignment of what the T-square can bring us. So the apex point is Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is now direct, like I've mentioned. And this is going to be allowing us to see the bigger picture of things and making everything a lot more clear without the muddy waters of too much emotions that sometimes delude our own sense of thought and decision making progress. And Ceres is like the asteroid of the mother. It has unconditional love and all that. So there could be an element here of forgiveness. So whatever that has been wrong, whoever has opposed us, maybe someone has done wrong to us, or we may have wronged someone else. This could be a time wherein we might need to forgive them. We might need to make peace with them. And we might be working on resolving whatever, whatever downside that has been happening between the two of you, between relationships and all that. Because Lilith can give us a sense of being helpless. And with Neptune right there, usually if it's not retrograde, this can be triggering things that can really make us feel so down, so low. And even though it's retrograde, it can give us a feeling wherein it can make us feel negative and feel as if all is lost and all that. But there is an element here when it is in retrograde that, yes, we might feel that, but at the same time, we can still have a form of hope. We are still going to see that the possibility and things. There is still like a little bit of light right there. And usually we get to see things a lot more clear. So it's like waking up from a dream. So it is going to be highly dependent on what dream are you in right now. Are you in a fantasy land or are you in a nightmare? So whatever kind of dream you are living, you are going to be waking up, because everything is in Virgo. We need to be practical. We have to get real on things. And this is what the energy is really bringing us right now. So, yeah. our senses of true love and conscience into things is going to come up very strongly. So this is really going to be manifesting, especially for those people who have done wrong to someone that they actually truly care about, but they acted in such a way that might seem very mean. So the energy is really allowing us to make peace with the people that we have wronged and have wronged us. What I really like about the energy of September is how there is a huge supporting energy for action, which give us a message that things are not just ideals. It's not just about what I want to do, but we really can have that potential to actually do it and make things happen. And this is really what I like about the Virgo stellium. We do have a very, very huge stellium in the sign of Virgo. We have Venus right there, we have Mars, we have the Sun, we have Moon with the new moon energy, and we have Juno and Mercury as well. And the good thing here is that only Venus really, um, Venus is going to have an opposition with Neptune, but for the rest of it, it's all having a trine configuration to where Uranus is, and the trine to where the Saturn conjunction with Pluto and the South Node is. So it is a very supportive energy. But trines are usually very supportive, but it does not really give a form of action too much if it's all trines. So I really appreciate the fact that we have the square going on, the T square, which really gives me a feeling wherein we are going to be making progress, because Jupiter in Sagittarius is about, expansion. It does not stay still, especially when it is direct. It really moves. It really expands things, and it is also making a semi-sextile actually with Saturn in retrograde in Capricorn. So we are fixing something that is in our paths. So it is going to be a very busy month where, and more than anything, it will bring us back to our own reality, creating a new sense of beginning that can actually work and progress this time around. Also, there is a strong manifestation that is going to occur this month, as well as a ton of surprises in store for us. There is a lot of karmic and spiritual fated events that is happening in the month of September. I believe this is going to be happening at the mid month of September. So yeah, the area where Neptune, the Virgo stellium, Saturn in Capricorn, and Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to be very, very active. So I would suggest to make this a lot more personal to you, to check on those areas where your Pisces area is all about, where the Virgo is all in place, where your Capricorn side is, and where your Sagittarius is all happening, because these are the houses that are going to be very active for you, and you will get a sense of theme on what you can expect. So one thing to keep in mind is that this is a time wherein basics and tradition is going to be very important, not to be quirky and too much erratic. In fact, be more careful if that is the case, because Jupiter in Sagittarius can be a double-edged sword. Jupiter expands, and not everything of too much is always good. And this is especially going to be the case once the full moon occurs, because it will be in a very Neptune is going to be in a very strong conjunction with Lilith. So balance is definitely going to be the key. And we are going to be feeling this around mid-September as well. So you can say that Virgo has a lot to do with research, planning, and all that. There could be a time of reflection, getting ready to do things and such. But it is really around the mid of September we're in, the energy of really reaching out to people, the energy of really um, making things work to someone, negotiating things are going to be in place, especially since Mercury and Venus will be the first few planets that are going to reach their way into Libra, separating itself and slowly away from the sun, and the combustion is going to die down eventually. So Venus will be feeling much more alive by then. Of course, when Mercury separates itself from the sun, it feels like the reflection time is over. We need to go out there. There is something that we need to do. We need to accomplish. And with these two signs together, Mercury and Venus and Libra, we can really expect some form of Venusian energy to take place. And what is Venus all about? Venus is all about relationships, love, sometimes money, and what makes us feel good. But in the sign of Libra, we are sure that we are having this energy in relation to another person. We are connecting this with someone else. So we can expect communication and relationships to sort of pick up by then in a more clear manner. And this is a time wherein we are really done with the analysis and planning, and we are on that path to really negotiating things with people. And by then, all the planets and stellium goes into Libra, but Mars is still left with Juno in Virgo. And that really is going to be covering the entire month of September, which is very, very interesting because Mars and Juno coming in together in Virgo is like we are working something in relationships, and we might be questioning ourselves on who is right for us. Something needs to be corrected, something needs to be get fixed, that kind of energy. And because this is all making a connection to our past, there is a very high possibility that the key for the month is fixing a past issue, especially something that we have been thinking about all this time, but we weren't really able to do anything about it. There could be a lot of, behind the scenes kind of thing happening as well. And our desires, our inner desires, what we really value, um, what we really treat as very important in our life is going to be coming to the forefront of things. It is going to be highly emphasized throughout the month of September. And one thing that I would like to give you guys some form of warning is that there are a lot of times wherein the moon is going to be making an opposition to Chiron. So that might trigger very difficult energy with us. And the first time it will happen, the moon is going to be in Libra. So it could be a confrontation in terms of relationships, or something in our relationship needs to be sorted out. It could be a form of healing as well. And at the same time, this is like a sign that we needed to compromise to make things work out, you know. Even though that Virgo is all about planning and all that, we all know that to make something work, two people needs to work together, especially in relationships. You cannot make everything work by yourself. You needed to a help of someone. And with Virgo, this is really especially the case. So yeah, the first week of September is going to be very hard because this is a time wherein we are adjusting to the Virgo energy. And Mars in Virgo is actually going to be quite difficult the first few days wherein Mars enters Virgo. Also, when Venus enters Virgo, the first few times is going to be quite difficult. But I believe that most people will be experiencing this on the second half of August, that kind of scenario. And every time a planet is changing signs, that is wherein you get to be feeling the stress the most, because Mars, for example, is a very rash planet. So, aligned with Virgo, it doesn't really like that very uptight energy. Mars is very rash. Mars doesn't always think, it doesn't plan at all. And with Virgo energy, it's like it's forcing us to act like Virgo. That is when we get the benefits of it. But if we try to work on things like giving into adventure, giving into doing something very erratic and all that, that is could be the time wherein we might suffer the consequences, because we are not doing the things that is aligned with the energy in store for us. And usually, with a combination of the moon opposition to Chiron, if you are not being careful and all that, that could also give a sense of pain in us. So I'm not really saying this in a very scary way, but with Mars in Virgo and all in the Virgo energy, and then there is an opposition with Chiron, there could be a chance of, let's not forget to mention of Neptune and Lilith. This could be a situation wherein we are trying to do things differently, maybe because we are so full of ourselves that to the point wherein we think we can do it, but sometimes it make us caught off guard, wherein someone's being a know-it-all and then they crash through an accident, or something happens that is not within their plans, and you have to make do with the consequences and all that. So there is a possibility of those things happening. So my advice is that to do things the safe way. So don't try to get ahead on things. Remember, the energy is Virgo, and Virgo does not like to risk. Seriously, they don't. So yeah, make sure to keep that in mind, especially on the first week of September. The Sagittarius energy and Virgo connection alignment is going to be very strong, and it has a stressful element as well. So the Capricorn and Virgo is going to have a strong trine throughout the month of September. So despite all these challenging alignments that we are going to be experiencing, because we are going to have a lot of oppositions going on, a lot of squares, and remember the T square is going to be very, very strong as well. So this is really giving us a heads up that things are not going to be easy, but if we put in the hard work, if we put in an effort, if we go by the basics, we go by the tradition and all that, we can make things happen. Also, there is going to be a Neptune and Saturn sextile throughout the mid of September, and this is a strong manifestation alignment. And it is making a trine to the Mars conjunction to Virgo. So when that is happening, it really is telling me that we can really manifest something and they can really come to materialize in the real world, you know. It's not just in our ideals. It will happen like something in a physical level, that kind of thing. Also, with the full moon happening in Pisces, which will be at the 21 degrees, there's going to be a cause for union or destruction with the fixed star present right there. And the story of Lilith and Zeus or Adam, whatever you call it, is going to be very much in place, because this is the point wherein Lilith wants to be on top of Zeus or Adam. I call it Zeus or Adam. It really depends on you guys, but this is really the story of Lilith. So basically Adam wants to be on top of Lilith, but Lilith wants to be on top. Like, they wanted to have a sexual intercourse like that, but Lilith does not want to be dominated. So they had a clash, and Lilith basically left. And there were 3 angels that went to Lilith to go back to Adam to, you know, resolve the situation and all that. And Lilith does not want to do so. And that's basically the story of how she is wanting something that she cannot have, or at the very least it's not of tradition. And even if there has been warning done, she really wouldn't listen. And I would be honest with you guys, Lilith is really strongly aligned with negative connotation, because of this nature, because of what happened. There is also a positive side to Lilith as well. So the fact that the Lilith energy is going to be very much in place during the full moon, because in the full moon, Lilith is going to be there and Juno is going to be there as well. So they are like going to be opposing each other during this full moon. So there is an element here wherein a relationship can work, or a relationship can get can get a form of destruction right there, because that is what macabre brings. The fixed star macabre, it either unites people or causes a form of destruction. So it would really be highly dependent on your own horoscope. So yeah, but remember, there is a form of discussion going to be taking place and negotiation happening, because it's all happening in the sign of Libra by the end, the second half of September, basically. And Mercury and Venus is going to make a quincunx to Uranus in retrograde with the moon in Taurus. So you might be facing something in the past. We might bring up issues in the past for us to clear it all out. And I believe this is really a good thing, because for us to be able to have a clean slate with someone, with something, with a relationship, with a partner, it is best that we talk it all out and to bring up the past, to resolve it, to give us a form of reason why things has happened and what we can do to make things work out this time around. So yeah, and remember that Lilith and Chiron will come in together in Aries on on September 18, 2019, and it will be in constant opposition by the sun. So around mid September, I would say that to keep in mind on how you are acting in terms of, in a personal level, in terms of relationships, because when Lilith is very active right there, the rebel side of us gets activated. Of course, it's going to be dependent on where your Lilith is and what aspect it is making. But ideally, when it is opposed by the sun, it does not really oppose in a very literal way, but it becomes highly present in our lives. So with Chiron right there is some form of lesson that we are going to be experiencing, and it will be highly dependent on, are we going to adapt to the lessons that it is being brought to us, or are we going to be choosing the lessons and experience in a very harsh and hard way, those kinds of things. So yeah, with Venus and Mercury in constant sextile with Ceres and Jupiter, this is really all about making the relationship work out. So I would say that if a relationship can be fixed, try to fix it, okay? Try to fix it, because that is what the energy is all about. Whenever the planetary alignments are supporting it, it only gives us a form of opportunities to fix it. It doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean that the person is going to have some magical experiences that things are eventually going to be fixed without a form of effort or action. Usually, just like miracles, we are experiencing things all in opportunities, and it will be up to us at the end of the day to make a decision whether we really make things work out or not. That kind of thing. So around September 24, the sun enters Libra, and this is going to be having the energy of Ceres and Jupiter all together. And with this in mind, this is really the time wherein true love is going to be coming in very strongly. That unconditional love, that desire, is going to be in place, especially with series wherein she has lost her daughter. So there is a form of maternal love, really having a form of longing into things. So this is the time we're in, even though there is a rebellious side of energy to it, we are more inclined to do what our heart is really telling us. That form of unconditional love is going to be very much prominent in each and every one of us, really. And so, yeah, we can expect a lot of surprises throughout the month of September, and a huge activation of Uranus. Really, Uranus is going to be very active, and it's making a trine consistently to the Virgo stellium happening in the skies out there. So we can expect, making a lot of things work out, because Uranus is like not just our connection to God, not just our connection to the divinity, but it is also like an electricity, It is sparking something that is not working out and it's trying to fix it. So, yeah, I would say that September is going to be giving a form of spark and a certain area of our life that has been very stagnant, especially in our relationships. There is some form of trigger point happening right there. But it is only when the alignments go to Libra wherein we can actually see where things are heading. Because in Libra, there is a scale. Libra usually is a mirror of someone. So we can expect that there is someone out there in front of us at that time. All the analysis is now done, all the evaluation is now done, the planning is over, and we are now trying to work things out with someone. That is what this Libra energy is going to bring us, and it will be very much highlighted at the middle of September. So it is going to be a very exciting month. And I would say that to have a more clear idea on how this is going to give us and be represented to us, please do stay tuned on my September love reading, psychic reading for all zodiac signs, which I will be starting to do so in the next few days. So I would appreciate if you guys will take a look on that to give you guys an idea on how the energy and the astrological alignment is going to be working for you. And maybe it could be happening in a more detailed and connected level. Who knows, right? But yeah, this is the energy that are in store for us for the month of September. And I would say it is a busy month, but it is a month wherein things can actually fall into our lap. But we need to play our part. That is really the key here. We need to do something. We need to play our own part. And opportunities are going to arise, but opportunities are just going to be opportunities. But without us making an effort to do something, they are just plainly useless, that kind of thing. So again, do our part. Don't rely on luck alone, but luck is definitely going to play an important role for us. And again, don't focus on erratic things. Please focus on the traditional side of things. Do what is right. Do what is right, what gives you a form of integrity into a situation. Do apologize if you have to. especially if you have wronged someone. That is definitely going to be very helpful as you navigate the month of September. So yeah, this is my analysis for the month of September astrology forecast for you guys. If you like this video and would like to be able to tune in whenever I post videos like this, please do hit that bell icon and subscribe. Please do like the video. And if you have any requests or would like any astrological videos from me, feel free to leave a comment and I'll work things out and post videos, more videos, astrology videos that whatever you guys want, right? So yeah, thank you for listening to this long video, and I hope you were able to get the insights that you need from it. And if you'd like a personal reading, psychic reading or astrological reading, I do have all those in my services on my website, inthestars by Chrissy.com. And yeah, I'll see you guys again on my next video. Thank you.